much did you think you knew about the rivalry but didn't know about it once you finally got into it?
I would say I really didn't know anything about the rivalry. Growing up, I wasn't really an Ohio State fan per se, but throughout the recruitment process, they got closer and closer, and I started to learn more. But I don't feel like the rivalry is something you really understand until either you play in it or you lose to them. And we lost to them last year, kind of left a bad taste in our mouth, and I feel like I know a lot more than what I knew going in. So just ready to play them.
What's it like living a year with that loss?
Yeah, it's difficult for sure. There's not really too much you can say about it. We just got beat last year straight up. So, really focusing a lot of our energy this year into beating them. Whether that was summer workouts, winter workouts, strength and conditioning, all that kind of been focused on them because that's our first goal every year. We didn't take care of business last year, so we know what we got to do this year.
Did anything change how you guys approach the offseason when you lose a game like that, the way you lost it, just from a player's perspective?
Yeah, from a player's perspective, I feel like there's a lot more leadership going into this offseason. And even, Coach Mick, he's the best strength coach around, but, he stepped it up too. We all just felt like we needed to pull a little bit more of our weight, so we ended up doing that, making the adjustments that we need to be made so that we're able to execute in this game coming up.
You said a week or two ago, one or two of those drops in rubbed you the wrong way.
Mm.
You're doing a little bit of extra to come up with the big throw over your shoulder and then the third down late from CJ. You had to adjust. Is that gratifying to have shown that progress and how you're making those tough catches again the way you want, or just part of the job, I guess?
Yeah, just part of the job, I would say. CJ put the balls where they were needed to be, and I was able to make plays on them. So it's something I expect to do, not something that really I'm taken aback by, because we do it every day in practice. We're continually working our craft, so just focusing on executing the plays that are the best of our ability. Yeah.
So you were over there on the monitor today. How much have you changed the maybe weekly routine recently, just to make sure that everything is where you need it to be at this time of year?
I feel like it's been relatively the same. I feel like the main goal of my week is to get my body back by Saturday. So really spend a lot of time in the training room, getting my legs right, my shoulders, all that type of stuff. Making sure I'm able to play at full capacity, because being healthy is probably one of the most underrated things that comes with being a football player. Like, if you feel healthy, your game's at a whole new level. So just staying in the training room, getting right with the guys, and getting on the Monarch before practice, get your hands activated, all that type of stuff.
CJ said after the game, you've been dealing with a lot more stuff maybe physically than we know about, or that you don't want to use it as an excuse. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what percent do you think you've been playing at for the last few weeks?
Sure. Well, there's a saying that you're never going to play a football game at 100%. So, this season has been a battle for a lot of guys on the team. They might not show it, but everyone's going through something physically, mentally, emotionally. So I would say you're never really playing the game at 100%, but your goal is to get as close as you can by Saturday. And with the help of our training staff and our strength staff and our coaches, and all the outlets they give us here at Ohio State, they end up doing a good job of that.
How do you, after because he brought up a drop, how do you mentally, like cornerbacks, you got to put the last play behind you no matter what happens. It's the mantra. How do you do that as a receiver and stuff? How many targets you going to get in the game anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Have you learned how to manage that?
Yeah, it's the same principle. Just put it behind you. Nothing you can do about it. Obviously, it kind of sucks in the moment, but the next play might be 3rd and 10. The next drive might be the game-winning drive. So you got to really hone in on those next plays coming up.
Emeka, you guys have won at least 3 games this year in the 4th quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Taking the 4th quarter. What have y'all learned about, I guess, the toughness from that aspect of being a team of, no matter what it takes, you get the job done at the end of the day? Well, how does that help this team, I guess, now looking back on it, headed into this game?
I feel like that's an area where we've drastically improved since last year. And I think it started really with the Rose Bowl, and just coming out in the second half way stronger than we did in the first half. That's something that we kind of emphasized and hung our hat on in the offseason. So we broke up the offseason into quarters, and once we got to the 4th quarter of the offseason, that was really the toughest environment that we had to face, whether that was 3-hour lifts or team runs and all that type of stuff. So Coach Mick did a really good job of training us for that, and the leaders stepped up in that moment. CJ, Cade Stover, all these type of guys, they step up in those moments in the fourth quarter when you really need them, and they're here for the team, and they set the example and they set the tone of what the next few drives are going to look like.
When did it kind of hit you that Dallin Hayden, if needed, would be mature enough to handle the role as a true freshman? You're a pretty mature guy yourself. He comes across very mature. When did it kind of hit you that this guy, if we need him, he's mature enough to handle it?
Yeah, he's always handled his business ever since he stepped into the building. Dallin's a guy that really, he's been working hard at the running back position, kind of learning from guys like Trey and Mayan, and he's done a great job thus far this season. As you guys can see, he scored 3 touchdowns last game, so stepping into that role is really big. And you don't really want to bottleneck someone by saying, oh, he's a freshman, he should only do so much. But at the end of the day, he's an all-around football player, and he did a great job in that game for us.
Did it feel different to replicate the intensity of this week when you're training for it in the off season, during the season? And it's a different feel around here this week. But can you replicate that intensity, that feeling, those butterflies of knowing it's game?
Something that I always say is that it's a slow build. So you kind of don't want to let your emotions get the best of you early in the week. You're slow building towards Saturday till the foot hits the ball. So we're kind of let those emotions stir up and bottle up. We're going to let it all fly on Saturday.
Mike, are you campaigning for?
Connected to the season. Like, you guys have 3 goals at the start of the season, right? It's now week 12, and you are just getting your first chance to get one of them. Has that made this last 3 months that much harder?
Well, we always know our 3 goals are going to come in the back stretch of the season. So we kind of just been focusing on staying on pace. And, every game is as important as the next one. So kind of just staying on pace, staying consistent, executing the way that we need to. And now we're looking at all 3 of our goals right in the face. We have a huge opportunity. So it's time to just tough up and go get them.
Mike, are you campaigning for kids? It seemed like when they motioned you, 12 team, pretty effective there. Are you mentioning that to people in the building and asking for a couple more carries here and there?
Nah, I don't say, you don't really try to ask of anything. You ask them what you can do to help the team succeed. So I've been trying to do my best in that way, whether that's blocking on the perimeter, catching passes, running the ball, special teams. So whatever it takes for our team to win, I'm going to do.